I go outside to my vehicle and I see my brother spray painting my car. Now, a short little note. He's the golden child, but he's very jealous of me because I've always been smarter, funnier, faster, better with the ladies. I mean, you name it. So I tried to go to my parents with video evidence of him painting my vehicle with a spray paint can, and you won't believe what they told me. They told me that I should basically just get over it. I should delete the video and I shouldn't tell anyone about this because what my brother did to me, I deserve. And you won't believe why my parents think this. They say, you don't get to choose your siblings. No words have been truer in my life. If I were to have a choice, I definitely would not have chosen my younger and only brother, Baxter. Indeed, I would have preferred to have been born as an only child and grown up with a dog named Baxter instead. For the canine companion would have been more affectionate than my brother and would definitely not have spent its whole life gloating about the fact that it was, quote, better than me. My brother, he was better than me at everything. That's no surprise. Better in arithmetic, better in science, better in music, better with girls, and most of all, better in sonship. For he was our parents' absolute golden child. It was bad. All my life I've known this. I knew that I was not good enough to deserve my parents' love. I was too slow. I walked slowly, I talked slowly, and the greatest offense of all, I learned slowly. Somehow my parents had a hard time understanding how their son could not pick up like their own son. One day, when I was 10, I heard my mother, Francine, asking my father, Seth, how a child could be so dull. They did not know I heard that I was just at the door of the bedroom, excited to show them my latest Lego creation. But those words stayed with me for the rest of my life. I was dull. My parents were disappointed in me, and the private tutors that they hired for me were gotten in resentment. I was made to work for every penny spent, while they were out with Baxter having a picnic or taking him to the amusement park. I was to remain with my tutor, just going away till my mind opened to absorb every word being taught. And with my mind being as slow as it was, it usually took so long that the fun outing would have been over before it got right. And even when I did get it right, with my best being Baxter's, average, it was not celebrated. I was not even hugged or told, well done. And truth be told, I can't recall ever being hugged or shown a little bit of affection by my parents. The only people who never failed to have a hug for me is my maternal grandpa, James. My grandpa was the only one who always told me that I could be anything that I wanted to be, even though we both knew that he was lying. There was no option for a dull kid like me. However, he was still the reason I completed high school and went on to the university to study my dream course, which is software engineering. His encouragement and his faith in me. Perhaps the reason I love James the most is because he sees Baxter for who he really is. In his words, a man with all shine but little substance. It's true that Baxter is smart, but what he had in brains, he lacked in character. After university, I moved back to my parents' house, despite the many discouragements from my friend Travis, but I was a fresh graduate with no job except for the little gigs here and there that I found online. I could not afford to pay rent and feed myself, so I stayed with my parents and their golden child, which, as I'm just finding out, was the greatest mistake of my life, and that mistake, or rather the consequences of my mistake, is why I'm here this night writing this. I had a job interview with Cyber Nexus, one of the top 5 tech companies, in my town, and it was this morning. And even though I knew I did well, guys, I was still shaking out of my mind with fear. And so Travis took me out to clear my mind. After leaving the bistro, he dragged me to play some video games. Somehow I lost track of the time and ended up returning home in the nighttime. Well, guess what I met? The house was littered with liquor bottles, pizza boxes, and people's personal stuff. Apparently, Baxter had thrown a party and was waiting for someone else to clean up after him. I'd never been more disgusted in my days. I went up to my room only to have the biggest surprise of my life. Somebody decided to sharpen his knife on my bedspread. Unidentifiable globs splattered on the walls, even splashing on my clothing. Pizza leftovers were on my desk, right on the papers that contained important information for one of my online jobs. What if I did not have the soft copy on my hard drive? That's when my eyes landed on the straw that broke that camel's back. My certificate from MIT that I'd proudly hung on my wall. Just above my desk laid on the floor, the frame broken beyond repair. Panic seized my heart, and the proof of my hard work could also be in shambles. My hands were shaking as I picked the mangled frame up. Imagine my relief when I found out that my certificate was still intact. But on the heels of that relief came anger. Hot red anger that burned my chest and belly and propelled my feet out of my room to where my brother was sleeping on the couch. Before I knew it, I lifted him up by the neck of his t-shirt. I didn't even realize that I was shouting at him until my parents came in and asked me to, quote, keep your voice down and release your brother this instant. My father asked what happened, and I explained everything to them. Guys, you won't believe what my parents said. They claimed that it was not worth getting worked up, that it was nothing a good cleaning couldn't fix, and that I should just act like the mature one for once. The mature one for once? What was that supposed to mean? This was my life we're talking about. What if I had not decided to take my laptop, only to come back to find it destroyed? All my hard work, livelihood just gone on the whim of my brother, who refuses to grow up. Everything within me wanted to march up to my room, pack my things, and get out of there. It was at this point I knew I had to come to a crossroads. However, I chose to proceed with determining the trajectory of my life, of what it would take. And that is why I'm here, guys. What do you advise I do? Should I move out of my parents' house, or should I overlook this incident and stay, knowing that there's all a likelihood that something like this can happen again and again? Please let me know what you would do. Update number 1, a week later. Hey guys, so it's been exactly a few days since I poured my heart here, and most of you have been really supportive, and I just want to say thank you so much. Your comments gave me the courage to call Travis, asking for his help in finding an apartment. Luckily for me, he wanted to move out of his place and was also looking for a new place, an apartment. We finally found one 2 days after the incident with my brother. We moved in that same day, and when I told my grandpa, he replied that it's about time. To be honest, it feels a little weird to spend a whole day without bumping into my brother or hearing the voices of my parents, but I'm getting used to it. It helps that I've been more at peace than I've ever been since all my life just staying at my parents' house. Speaking of Seth and Francine, you won't believe how they handled my leaving. At first, they started with messages that let me know how disappointed they were with me. How could I leave the house because of a stupid accident? How could I be so willing to walk out on my family? According to them, I should reach out to my brother and fix the rift that I caused. Apparently, they had forgotten that I was the one who was offended and not the other way around. Travis told me to ignore the messages, and, well, that's what I did. I did not reply to them, and the day I went searching for an apartment, I knew that there was no going back for me. I was ready and willing to pay the price. I just didn't know how much it would cost me. Yesterday, I get a message from Seth. There he had told me that because of what I had done, he was ashamed to call me his son. And since I have chosen to ignore him and, mother, they've decided to do the same. I was not to call them or step foot in their house, and it was as well as them telling me that they were disowning me. It wasn't like they hadn't been living like they had only one son anywho. However, this hit deep. Like I just lost my parents. I was as good as an orphan, only my parents are still alive. Travis believes that my parents are just trying to force my hand into coming back. I don't know if it could be true, but someone I know, that they mean this. I know it deep down. This is the first time I have outright disobeyed them to go my own way, and they have finally found the perfect excuse to be rid of me. James does not know of this, and I don't think I should tell him. It'll break his heart and break this already fractured family. I can't afford to let my grandfather lose his only family because Seth and Francine were being their ornery selves, and yet I long for his comfort, his support, and his guidance. This is quite a sour pickle that I found myself in. Update number 2, 3 days later. Guys, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. My hands are tied, and they're starting to shake as I write this. I've gone for a job interview a week ago. It was at Cyber Nexus, right? It's been more than a week, and I had to put all but given up on it. Guess who just got an email informing him that he has been accepted? That's right, me! Guys, I want to scream and then laugh and buy a beer for everyone at the closest bar. There may or may not be tears in my eye ducts right now. This is my dream job, guys, and it's mine. No more looking for the next paying gig. I have an honest-to-goodness stable job. I was worrying about how well I did at the interview. Travis has been out since morning, and so I had to settle with sharing the good news. With only James. You should hear how loud and deep his laughter was. He told me that he would be coming to the city soon and promised to take me out for a celebratory dinner. How I've missed the old man. He was the only one who truly believed that I could achieve whatever I set my mind to. Well, I guess he was right. If only my parents could see me now. I wonder if they would be pleased and finally be proud of their son. If they would finally see that I'm not a dull child, I never was. You might think me as foolish for still longing for their approval, but what child does not long to be loved by his parents? To feel the arms of his mother around him and hear his father call him son with pride? Especially now that I know what I know about Baxter. Just after I inform my grandfather about my new job, he tells me something surprising about old Baxter. See, Baxter is not as smart as he led us all to believe. Yeah. Oh, man, his elementary, middle, and high school grades are his. However, the same cannot be said about his college grades. More than half of the grades he presented to our family were phony. Anything to remain our parents' golden child, I guess. I don't know how to get to know about this, but my grandpa has connections everywhere, so it's not so surprising he found out. But that isn't what's bothering me. Everything within me wants to gleefully pass the information along to my parents just to see how they would feel when they realize that their golden boy isn't golden after all, and the look that would be on my brothers' faces. For all the years that I had borne the comparison with their favorite child, my brother deserved to have his secret exposed, and my parents deserved to have the star plucked from their eyes. But I'm also aware that this could go south. I know my parents. Nothing could tarnish the gold of their golden child. Rather than believing me, my parents could accuse me of being jealous and just stooping so low as to lying to try to get them to take me back. What should I do? Should I risk it for the biscuit, or should I continue with my peaceful existence? Update number 3. 1 month later. Oh boy, hey guys. Well, once again, words can simply not describe how much your support here actually means to me. Let me jump right into this update. Well, it's been a while since I've given one. Quite a lot has happened. First of all, I decided not to tell my parents about Baxter's false grades. I thought it was better left unsaid if James decided to let them know. Good for them. I know that it would be better received coming from him than me. Besides, it's not like by telling them that they would finally take back all the hurtful words that they had said to me since I was a kid. To be honest, I doubt it would actually bring me and my parents closer. And so, for these reasons, I stayed silent. Only James, Travis, and I know the truth, and that's enough for me. The second thing, and the reason why I'm even here, is that within the last 3 days, I've been something of a bigwig in my company. Because of the CEO being impressed with me, with my data, with my work, and now I'm set to receive an award of excellence, titled the Innovation Award, in a black tie event this Friday. Wow, I still can't wrap my mind around it. I, the dull child, impressing a CEO and getting a reward? Never in a million years would I ever have imagined that, guys. I mean, wow. Well, anyways, I've always loved computers and code, and I knew that I was good at it, but I never thought that I was that good. Receiving a dressing down almost every day of my life since I could hold a pencil sure was a way of trashing a person's self-esteem. Even now, I'm struggling to believe the good things my coworkers say about me. It almost feels like my stroke of luck has gotten better since I left my parents' house. That sounds bad, I know, but the thought is just lodged in my mind, and here's the reason for it. Yesterday, I received a call from my parents, and it isn't what you're thinking. They saw my post on Facebook where I posted about the award and called to congratulate me. Guys, I was stunned, speechless even, and it did not stop there. Francine wrote a long letter extolling my many virtues on our family page on the WhatsApp. What almost fell on me was when she wrote that I was their true golden child because I never gave up. Yeah, right there for all to see, including the golden boy himself. And right on the heels of that came Seth's message to the same group chat, in which he called me his son and in capital letters wrote how proud he was to be my father. Now guys, you might call them hypocrites, and it's true that their actions reek of nothing more than hypocrisy. Well, it's true, yes, but guys, this is what I've been hoping for, what I've been praying for. I can't throw them away, not when there's an opportunity to work on our relationship, and so that's why when they asked for an invitation to the black tie event coming up this Friday, I'm actually starting to consider it. Am I crazy? I mean, what do you guys think? What would you do? Man, they might not have been the parents I've wished for, but somehow, the little boy in me who had dreamed of this moment still wants them to be a part of my special day. Do you guys think that I should say yes to them? Update number 4, 4 days later. Oh man, hey everybody, how's it going on your side? I have an interesting update for everybody that's reading this. But first of all, I want you to know that I ended up sending my parents the invitations despite the discouragement from Travis. And, well, to be honest, most of you guys reading this. Well, I know that I've disappointed quite a lot of you, but I really wish that you could see my points of view or perhaps wear my shoes for a moment. Though they're not the world's best parents, I somehow find that I still love them. And even though they hurt the most of my life, I know that they truly love me in their own crooked way. And you might be calling me foolish for receiving them back with open arms, but they're my parents. The only ones I've got. To be honest, my sending them the invitation was also selfish on my part. I finally have the chance to show them the good things I've made of myself, to let them see that even though they practically did not expect much from me, here I was, doing even better than their golden son. It sounds spiteful and prideful even, maybe, but I'm only human. I'm willing to give them a second chance, but that does not mean the past 25 years of my life are forgotten. And so I have every intention of just marching up that stage tonight as I receive the award and making it obvious how much they've missed out on. Now, the reason that I even came back for an update. This morning, as I was leaving the gym, I found my brother spray painting my car. At first, I didn't recognize him. He was dressed up in a hoodie and was wearing a face cap, with the hood thrown over the top. But then the hood shifted slightly, and I saw his side perspective. I've lived with Baxter all my life. Of course, I knew what his side view looked like, and considering our parents changed of heart towards me, it doesn't take a genius to figure out why Baxter was there, ruining my car on the very day of my award presentation. I waffled, between storming up to him and locking him by the neck of his shirt and just letting him go. I know my brother. Any confrontation I made would surely lead to a debacle, and I find that I have no energy for such. Indeed, I should not be thinking of wasting my time and energy on a man as spoiled as Bax. And so I settled for simply videotaping him as he made a mess of my vehicle and heard all these hateful words and my disappointment. And then I uploaded it on my Facebook page with the caption that said, "So much for being your brother's keeper. Yes, I'm hurt, and you might claim I have a stupid, sensitive heart. Sensitive, I claim. Stupid. However, I'm not sure. Is there a stage where one stops getting hurt by the heartless actions of people? I think not. I should send the video to our parents, or at least to my grandfather, but somehow I can't seem to get my fingers to commit the act. Right now I'm wondering if perhaps my heart is indeed stupid, for I should not be protecting my foolish brother. No, I should throw him to the wolves. Ugh, I don't know. And yet, I can't. Right now, I'll turn my focus to the event that's happening in a few hours and empty my mind of my brother's antics. I would decide what to do after the event and not a minute before it. It would help a million if all you could also lend your advice. That would be great. Update number 5, 3 days later. Hey guys, I am here again with good news. Apparently there was no need for me to have been worrying about whether or not I should show my parents the video of Baxter ruining my car. James saw the video online and sent it to our family WhatsApp group. Not only that, but he has taken it personally, as though it was his car that Baxter sprayed. He vowed that he was going to make Baxter pay for the damages, and if Baxter refused to do that, he would make sure that Baxter ended up in jail. Not only that, he promised that should Baxter think he could run away from this, he was going to hunt him down. He promised, he was going to drag him back if he has to. And now I'm scared of my grandfather, or rather of his connections. I knew James had connections, but I never knew it was this crazy. One would think that Baxter would realize that our grandfather was not joking, but apparently Baxter was not too smart. For after James called him out on the family group, he disappeared cold turkey. Francine was so worried, and somehow she believed that Baxter would come to me, for she kept on calling and messaging me too. To be honest, I would be the last place Baxter would turn to. The guy probably hates me. Finally, after a full 24 hours, one of James' connections returned Baxter to my parents' house, where James was also staying. I was summoned to join them at the house, and then with the encouragement of the police chief, whom James has happened to know, Baxter paid me for the damages to my car. It wasn't exactly an apology, and though it was grudgingly given, I was happy to receive it. The police chief and James' retriever finally left, so it was just family that remained. Just as I was about to make an excuse and make a quick getaway, James dropped the greatest bombshell ever. He tells them about Baxter's grades. Seth immediately became as white as a ghost, and Francine broke into tears, and Francine only cries when she is spittin' mad. Baxter started sweating profusely while bumbling about on explanations and confessions. He confessed that he struggled in college but could not tell them because he did not want to lose their favor. To be honest, as I watched Baxter, I felt pity rise within me. No child should have to work to earn their parents' love. Baxter's character, the failure, was as much as our parents' fault as it was Baxter's fault. Finally, Seth spoke. Yeah, he commanded Baxter to go up and pack his things and get the hell out, to never come back. Seth also made it clear that Baxter was not expected to receive as much as a penny from them. Francine also spat out that they wanted nothing to do with his fake life, and so he should go and live it elsewhere. Right before my very eyes, Seth and Francine were disowning their golden boy. Apparently no one's irreplaceable, I guess. Now that the golden boy is gone, they would turn their attention and affection to me. This is what I've always wanted, and yet I somehow feel sad. That aside, I'm more than grateful to everyone who walked with me throughout this story. I mean, wow. Let us hope Baxter does not come back with some stupid, silly, evil plot using his guise. Update number 6. This is the final update, 6 days later. Hey guys, this is going to be the final update, so, hey, I can't believe it's been 7 days since I last came here. I'm sure that most of you have been wondering what became of me and my family. Well, let me start with my favorite family member. James returned to Las Vegas after Seth and Francine disowned Baxter and took me back as their kid. Seth and Francine wanted me to move back into their house, but come on. Obviously, I declined it. To much of Travis's relief. My remaining in my apartment was better for everyone, especially if it were to make our relationship work. I know my parents, if I gave in and moved back with them, they would want to be involved in every part of my life. By living in my own place, they would have no option but to respect certain boundaries that I put in place. However, we are slowly making a go at this parent-child relationship. Once a week, I have dinner with them and tell them about what I've been up to, despite their imperfections, and they are many imperfections. I'm learning that my parents are still good people, however. They've refused to speak or even see Baxter since that day. Indeed, I'm the only Baxter family member who speaks to him. As I think about everything, I can't help but be amazed at the twisted way that this all turned out. I, the dull, rejected child, have become my parents' favorite kid, and the only child that they acknowledge, while Baxter, who had been their favorite most of our lives, has been turned away, vanished, and is being forgotten. Just to live of the approval of people is the greatest foolishness. Such a person would never be happy, for he would never seek to do the things that make them truly happy. And definitely he would not live long. All anyone can do is pursue his own path. Regardless of whatever it might cost him, it's always rewarding in the end. Comment number 1 from Rachel42. I'm so inspired by this. You're right. Following a path yields the greatest reward. I'm so happy for you, OP. In fact, I'm proud of you. Proud of you for making the tough choices and sticking to your convictions. Proud of you for leaving the toxic atmosphere of your parents' house and discovering your life outside their influence. No doubt it came with much hurt, much more than you are revealed here, and yet you pushed through. And for that, I'm simply proud of you. I'm proud of you for showing that, in the end, you're actually still the only one better and more mature on, the whole lot. Well done. Steve, 56, says, "This is all the young ones these days who come out to drag their family do. Have you never heard of the saying that you don't air dirty laundry outside? I've been watching you quietly, but after reading this, I can't keep quiet. So because your parents or family are not like the ones on TV, you're a victim and should be celebrated because you finally had the sense to work on your relationship? Give me a break. There are worse things than not being loved by your parents. I think you should learn that the world does not revolve around you. And so you should learn how to stop yapping about your woes of your life and should then, shoulder them silently like the man that you are.